you know what is Good Intentions? It's the road to more books. So yeah, I had resisted getting more books for most of the first quarter of 2023, but it all went to hell during the month of April. Well, not quite, because I got two books on January. I got two books by Yrsa Sigurðardóttir. She's an Icelandic author. It's two crime thrillers from 2005. Not sure about the English title. Yes, the books are The Draining Lake in English and Ashes to Dust. I also got The Book of Bones by John Connolly. It's book, I don't know how many books into the series. It's book 17 in his Charlie Parker series. The Yrsa Sigur whatever are part of Icelandic name. It's about a lawyer in Iceland. It's a book 3. Yes, that's Last Rituals. It actually matches the cover. That's book 1 and book 3 in a series about an Icelandic lawyer. And when it comes to more crime fiction, I also got Boris Akunin's Pelagia and the White Bulldog. That's a Russian crime historical mystery novel featuring a nun who is a detective, and that's book 3 in the series. I'm not sure if it has been translated into English. Let me check. It's the sister Pelagia Mysteries. Oh, no, that's book 1. Sister Pelagia and the White Bulldog. And there is also Pelagia and the Black Monk. That's book 2. And book 3 is Pelagia and the Red Rooster. I don't believe it has been translated in Greek. So what can I say? So yeah, plenty of strange translated mystery novels. Enough of that. So let's go to my visit to a homeless a bookstore that is made to support the homeless. That's something that's going on in Athens. I visited them. They were actually open on Saturday. On a day I wasn't working, so I decided to visit and support them. And honestly, I got 2 books because I thought that they were vaguely interesting. Me, it was more about giving money to homeless people and getting books in return. What can I say? So I got John Abercrombie's Wisdom of the Crowd. That's book 3 in a trilogy, and I don't have the other 2 books, but I want to read John Abercrombie at some point, so that's a great opportunity. I think book 1 is So Much Hatred, so I have to check it and maybe find the other 2 books as translated. And I also got Black House by Stephen King and Peter Straub. I've read The Talisman. I wasn't a huge fan, but I found this one there and I just grabbed it. It's translated, so it'll be an easy read, I guess. But yeah, I expect a lot of extra words from both of them. And it's a sequel to The Other Story, which was written 20 years later, I believe. So yeah, I'll read it at some point. Then a friend of mine, he opened a new bookstore. He has a bookstore, he's an author, he has some books on Amazon. His name is Angelos Kyprianos. I'll leave a link to his books in the description below on Amazon. He's a great guy, and I got one of his books. I'm not sure if it's translated, alright? See the comment below, I guess. It's a sequel to 21 Seagulls, a novella he has definitely published in English, and I have it, so it's going to read both of them. And I also got Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, because I want to read it. And yes, support your friends. Good intentions, right? So in order to do the readathon for the Old School April, I had to go and buy a Goosebumps book or a Fear Street book, and I thought I knew where I could find one. I didn't. I couldn't find any. somebody has bought all the copies in that used bookstore I went. However, trolling through bookstores, I found some books I was interested in, and so I got 5 books of the Dark Tower, and I was like, I'm not buying Dark Tower, I'm not starting another Chunky Fantasy series, but I found those books very cheap, so I was like, I'll read it eventually, so let me get it. So there's The Gunslinger, book 1, Drawing of the Three, book 2, The Wastelands, book 3, The Wolves of Kala, book 5, and The Dark Tower, book 7. So I'm missing 2, plus the book he wrote afterwards in between those books. I think it was between book 4 and 5, so I still have to look for 3 more books, but I'm in no hurry. I'll start reading them and maybe I'll find them. It's not hard to find Stephen King books. It's hard to find them at a very decent price. I paid 15 euros for those books, maybe less, I'm not sure, but yes, that was a bargain. And talking about Chunky series, I also found books 9 and 10 of The Wheel of Time. I've got books 1 to 3 already, and I plan to read them at some point, not sure when. But yes, since I found them, I was like, whatever, I'll probably buy them, so let's be done with it. It was cheap, it was like 7 euros, I paid 7 euros for those 2. At least I'm planning to buy, and since I found no books from R.L. Stine, I decided to go on the internet and find somebody who was selling old books, and I found a guy who was selling this book, The Step Brother, by R.L. Stine, and he had a rule that get 18 euros worth of books and we can meet, no charges for postal and something like that. So I looked up the books he was selling and I got some more. This one cost me like 3 euros, I guess. And then I also got Night School by Lee Child. It's a Jack Reacher novel, which is like, yeah, I mean, it's Jack Reacher. It's a good palate cleanser for me. I enjoy a lot of the books because they are dumb books for non-dumb people. And I've read quite a few Lee Child books in the past 4 or 5 years. They're very entertaining reads. Not great reads, not great literature, but they're not supposed to be, and they know that, and that's why they're so good. I also got The Golfins by Donna Tartt because I was curious. I want to read the book that spawned Dark Academia craze, and yeah, it's a beta copy, of course, but whatever. It's a big book. I don't know when I'm going to read this. Because it's 164 pages long, and as far as I know, the writing is kind of on the heavy side. It's supposed to be read, not rush through it, alright? I'll read it at some point, whatever. And finally I got Logic Comics. That's a comic book about computer science by some Greek guys. Apostolos Doxiadis. He's a mathematician / author, Uncle Peter and the Theorem of Goldmach or something was a classic book of his. I've read. Christos Papadimitriou is authority on theoretical informatics and also an author. And there is a French artist, and yes, there is an English version of it too available. This one is the Greek one. I don't think there are many differences, and I want to read this book for years and years, so it was available, I got it. So definitely something I want to read. And this is the books I've got for the first third of this year. And guess what? I'm filming this quite some time after the previous video. I got more. Not much more, but I got more. So, continuing with the quality acquisitions of the previous months, I also got another Lee Child book I stumbled upon, A Wounded Man. Of course, this is the Greek edition. And yeah, I'm gathering quite a few of them. Maybe I should read the next one I have yet to read, which is Without Fail, I believe. What can I say? They're a guilty pleasure to the point it's not guilty anymore because many people share this. So who am I to deny my guilt and my pleasures? Then of course I found The Other by Thomas Tryon, which is another staple of HorrorTube. The other Thomas Tryon book. I also have Harvest Home, and yes, I should read one of them. Tell me which one to read, this one or Harvest Home, which is the best for a Thomas Tryon beginner. Then I also got another Greek edition, Helen Walker's The Golem and the Djinn, of which I have heard great things about. It's a chunky fantasy book. It's almost 600 pages long, so not that chunky. For a fantasy book, it's like a slim, easy read, I guess. And I think it's not alone. So yeah, definitely I've heard great things about it. Definitely worth a read. And finally, You're Going to Cry. Trigger warning: this book is in an awful condition. It misses the back cover, but it's a Greek edition of Guy and Smith's Death Bell, which I have read and unhauled quite some time ago. It was a fun book. When I got it and unhauled, those editions were a dime a dozen. You could easily stumble upon them and buy them for cheap. Then people on the internet say this thing exists, they got a cult following, and now they're collectibles and you can't find them, or if you find them, they're very expensive. I got this from a homeless guy who was selling books outside of Metro Station, and yeah, I stumbled upon it. I got it because I have sold mine. To be honest, these books are like, you glance at them and they get like that, so yeah, it's pulp editions from the 80s, and I think they're bootlegs too. It's from 1981, so yeah, that's an old book. They're not that sturdy to begin with, so I don't know, yeah, whatever, this happens. So yes, these are my acquisitions from January to April, the first third of the year, and hopefully I won't get as many books during the summer, but one can only hope. What should I read first? Yes, I don't have many options. It's The Gunslinger, probably, but I guess it will be Bad Omens. So what did you get all those months? Tell me about it, leave a comment below, and I'll see you soon. Thank you very much for watching.